In a little village, a woman named Chinnu lived, renowned not for her kindness or talents, but for the terrible label of being too ugly to be loved. Despite this, her desire for recognition and love beyond appearances remained. As she navigated a life of seclusion and hardship, a chance encounter with rural youngsters provided a ray of hope. Little did she know that fate had plans far beyond her wildest dreams, as a love destined to defy all odds awaited her on the horizon. A woman named Chinnu lived in a gorgeous village surrounded by verdant hills and tranquil valleys. Her home, a modest cottage on the outskirts of the settlement, served as a sanctuary amidst the rolling landscapes. However, even in this gorgeous environment, Chinnu bore a burden greater than the mountains that surrounding her. Chinnu experienced the painful sting of rejection and scorn at a young age. The peasants, with their narrow minds and vicious tongues, judged her based on her perceived ugliness rather than her good heart or amazing talents. Their disdainful eyes and whispered taunts trailed her like shadows, haunting her every step and resonating in the depths of her spirit. They called her too ugly to be loved, a cruel remark that pierced deeper than any blade could pierce. Each utterance of those vicious words engraved themselves into Chinnu's heart, inflicting scars that time could not cure. Despite her mother's unfailing love and support, the villagers' contempt weighed down on Chinnu like a thick yoke, threatening to crush her spirit beneath its cruel weight. Despite the gloom that covered her life, Chinnu clung to a glimmer of hope, a desperate need for acceptance, for someone to see past her external appearance and realize the beauty that lay within. Her heart, damaged and bruised, remained a source of kindness and compassion, seeking for connection in the midst of indifference. As the seasons changed on the hillsides and the village bustled with activity, Chinnu took peace in the simple joys of her isolated lifestyle. She cared for her garden with loving care, coaxing beautiful blossoms from the soil with soft hands. She sought sanctuary in the pages of old books, immersing herself in worlds far off from her own terrible realities. Despite her best efforts to shelter herself from the world's brutality, the villagers' remarks lingered like a terrible aftertaste, contaminating the very air she breathed. Their whispers followed her wherever she went, serving as a continual reminder of her perceived incompetence in the eyes of others. Despite the darkness that threatened to consume her, Chinnu refused to give up hope. For deep within her soul, a flicker of defiance shone brightly, a flame of resilience that refused to be extinguished. Even though the road ahead was riddled with hurdles and uncertainty, Chinnu decided to keep on, guided by the unwavering light of hope and the vast strength of her indomitable spirit. As Chinnu grew into a young lady, her days unfurled like the pages of a worn-out traveler's journal, each one marked by relentless toil and the oppressive weight of loneliness. While her peers danced under the golden sun, their laughter combining with the exquisite song of youthful abandonment, Chinnu stood on the edges of their delight, a silent observer of others' happiness. Her mornings began with the rising light, throwing a warm hug over the tranquil village as Chinnu emerged from the cocoon of her humble cottage. With tired hands and a sorrowful heart, she went about her daily activities, ministering to her elderly mother's needs and tilling the soil of their small garden. The hours stretched into forever as she toiled under the sweltering heat, her sweat combining with the ground as she labored with a determination driven by necessity. But Chinnu was alone in the busy village square, her heart fluttering with the promise of love's gentle embrace, while her friends enjoyed the drunken exhilaration of early courtship. From the shadows, she observed couples strolling hand in hand, their laughing a poignant reminder of the love she had always wanted but was never able to have. The villagers were unable to recognize Chinnu's soft warmth and unfailing compassion because of their prejudice-clouded hearts and ignorance-shackled brains. She was nothing more than a pariah, a ghost living on the periphery of their small society, a reminder of the ugly things they tried to hide behind phony facades and meaningless platitudes. But Chinnu held on to a thin thread of hope, a whispered promise of redemption that flickered like a candle flame in the middle of a roaring storm, despite the darkness that threatened to swallow her. The simple pleasures that adorned her lonely existence, the soft scent of wildflowers carried by the breeze, the lullaby of the nearby stream as it danced over smooth stones, the soft touch of her mother's hand as they sat together under the starry night sky, gave her comfort with every day that went by. However, Chinnu was unable to stop the unrelenting flood of loneliness that swept over her like a tsunami breaking into the beach, even in the peaceful beauty of her surroundings. And so she walked the route of loneliness, her heart heavy and soul burdened by the weight of her reality, her footsteps echoing in the empty expanses that stretched before her like an infinite expanse of wild wilderness. A group of village kids were playing by the creek one fateful day as Chinnu was making her way home after gathering firewood in the neighboring forest. Her tired footsteps were making their way down the well-known dirt road. They stopped laughing as she got closer, and everyone in the group grew silent. Their interested eyes were fixated on her, like a hawk spotting its prey. Chinnu readied herself for the inevitable ridicule, fortifying her heart against the anguish she knew would follow like a shadow in the setting sun. To her amazement, rather than nasty jibes and insulting gestures, the children greeted her with genuine grins and eager looks. Chinnu lingered by the stream, emboldened by their unexpected friendliness, exchanging playful banter and laughs with the children. For the first time in years, she felt a spark of hope ignite within her tired soul. The story of Chinnu's interaction with the village youngsters spread like wildfire, sparking curiosity and compassion in the hearts of the villagers. Slowly but steadily, prejudice crumbled, giving way to a renewed respect for Chinnu's inner beauty and resilience. As the days passed into weeks and weeks into months, Chinnu was enveloped by a fresh sense of belonging. The villagers, who had before been frightened of her presence, now greeted her with warm grins and open arms, ready to learn from the gentle knowledge emanating from her heart. Gone were the days of whispered taunts and disdainful looks. In their place, a sense of camaraderie and acceptance arose as the villagers rallied around Chinnu, praising her for the courage and grace with which she tackled life's challenges. Chinnu's universe grew with each passing day, bursting with the brilliant colors of friendship and fellowship. The laughing of youngsters and the reassuring embrace of newfound friends soothed her weary soul. Though the pains of the past lingered like shadows on her heart, Chinnu found solace in knowing she was no longer alone, that she was loved and adored for the wonderful soul she was. Chinnu stood beneath the canopy of the starlit sky, surrounded by the sweet whispers of the night, and gave a silent prayer of appreciation to the universe, for the unexpected compassion that had transformed her life and the undying spirit that had carried her through the darkest of days. For in the embrace of love and acceptance, Chinnu discovered her true self, a light of hope amidst the darkness, illuminating the path for anyone who dared to follow in her footsteps. And in that moment, as the hamlet slept blissfully beneath the moon's watchful gaze, Chinnu realized she had finally found her home in the world, a place where beauty transcended the confines of flesh and bone and true love recognized no boundaries. Chinnu's presence in the hamlet became a source of hope and inspiration for everyone who knew her. Her actions of generosity and altruism impacted those around her, melting even the coldest hearts with the warmth of her spirit. Despite the newfound acceptance and admiration, Chinnu's heart was heavy with longing. Deep within her core, she cherished a secret desire for love, love that went beyond physical appearance and embraced the essence of who she was. Despite the affection and camaraderie she felt with the locals, Chinnu couldn't escape the desire for a deeper connection, a love that could see past her previous traumas and embrace her for the lovely soul she was. She frequently found herself gazing wistfully at the couples walking hand in hand, their laughing combining with the beautiful rustle of leaves in the calm breeze. Chinnu would lose herself in the tranquil seclusion of her home, dreaming of a love that defied society's limitations, a love that could see beneath the surface and treasure the depths of her heart. She wished for someone to embrace her close and murmur words of tenderness, their touch a salve to her wounded spirit. But as the days passed, and the weeks evolved into months, Chinnu's need remained unfulfilled, a silent aching in the depths of her being. She wondered if such a love existed outside her imagination, or if it was only a transient dream that would never be realized. Despite the shadows of doubt that lingered in her mind, Chinnu refused to give up hope. With each passing day, she clung to the glimmer of hope that burned brightly within her heart, guiding her through the darkest nights and stormiest days. Chinnu understood deep down that genuine love was not restricted by time or circumstance. It was a force as timeless as the stars, patiently waiting for the right moment to shine its light on her tired soul. So, with unflinching faith and steadfast resolution, Chinnu continued to tread the path of life, believing that one day, love would find its way to her door, and she would finally know the delight of being adored for who she actually was, a beautiful, bright soul worthy of love in all its forms. Chinnu had no idea that fate had a much bigger plan in store for her. For on the horizon, amidst the whispers of the wind and the delicate rustle of leaves, was a love that would defy all odds and light up the darkest parts of her existence. As the seasons changed and the hamlet accepted the ebb and flow of life's ever-changing tide, Chinnu's heart remained open to the prospect of love, its flame burning with the delicate breath of hope. She continued to walk the path of life with unyielding tenacity, led by the conviction that true love would eventually find its way to her door. And suddenly, like a light in the night, he appeared, a man whose presence seemed to ignite her spirit with a fervor she had never experienced. His eyes carried the secrets of 1,000 lives, with each gaze whispering the promise of a love that transcended time and space. Their meeting was as coincidental as the flutter of a butterfly's wings, a chance encounter that put the wheels of fate in action. Chinnu knew he was different from the minute their eyes met, that he was the one she had been looking for. The missing piece of her heart she had long imagined had vanished. With each passing day, their friendship grew deeper, inspired by the wordless language of the heart and the silent whispers of fate. They shared laughter and tears, dreams and fears, and their souls were interwoven in a timeless dance. They set off on a voyage of love and discovery, bravely and gracefully navigating the twists and turns of life's unpredictable course. Despite the hardships they experienced along the way, their love remained unwavering, a beacon of light amid the darkness that surrounding them. Chinnu found comfort and strength in his embraces, her concerns fading away like dew beneath the early sun. With him by her side, she felt indestructible, as if nothing could ever sever their link. So, with each passing day, Chinnu's journey proceeded, led by the steadfast light of hope and the limitless strength of love. She knew that as long as she had him by her side, she would be able to weather any storm and overcome every hurdle in their path. Together, they would create their own story, one of love and tenacity, triumph over adversity, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. And as they stood hand in hand, gazing out at the horizon that spread before them, Chinnu knew that their love was meant to last forever, a timeless masterpiece painted on the canvas of their hearts.